Good morning, people. I just landed in
That time was how
your
it was
town.
supposed to be.
All right.
I sound really quiet,
Well,
but I'm
talk
not
louder.
sure why. Well, I could do that, but
Push those things up a little bit more.
it's up. Trust me.
There you go. Keep
All
going.
right.
Trust me. Welcome back. If you've been here before, then you know we have technical difficulties all the time, and this is nothing new. If you're new, welcome. This is hashtag just saying. We'll do some quick prostitution. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're on the corner now, guys.
That's right.
Hit the notification bell like it owes you money. It'll let you know when we upload new content. You can watch the first 40 on the YouTubes and listen where streaming things stream. Also, we are on the TikTok at hashtag just saying, all one word. Spell out the hashtag. Don't be lazy.
We're making you work.
That's right.
Prostitution complete, I believe.
We are very kind whores.
We're not cheap.
No.
Right now we are.
We're kind, but we're not cheap.
I know. Right now we're free.
Free whores.
Free horn. Free horn.
Yeah. How's everybody?
Oh, just
Oh, she's ducky.
I am swimming in a bucket of fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, let's address the elephant in the room. Tara, how's your car?
And what an elephant it is.
Yes.
With if you're gonna address the elephant, you should at least throw it peanuts.
All right.
So my car, my poor baby,
Yes.
is right now he's in a coma in my driveway. Let's regale that story. I'll try to break that down as quickly as possible.
Coolant pipes.
So went to do the coolant pipes.
All right.
Now, there's a little bit of lag on the video, I'm noticing.
There is.
I can't see.
Hopefully it will go away. his hand's up and it's down. It's up and down. It's up and down.
Put it in, take it out. Put it in, take it out.
It doesn't matter. So, anywho's, went to do coolant pipes, had the car, drove the car all the way down to Warwick, Rhode Island, which is almost an hour away.
All right.
Because there's a place you can rent these work bays, and they have lifts
And tools.
and all the tools.
Nice.
And it was a very great place. And if I needed future work that required my car to be up,
Pretty much everything requires your car to have a lift.
yeah, I mean, I would rent from them. They're very, very kind people.
All right. They
So-
weren't jerks.
No, they weren't jerks at all. And considering what occurred, they really could have been jerks.
Ooh.
So, my nephew, who said that he could do this
In an hour.
in an hour, and I got 2 hours.
No problem.
So I waited outside because the guy's like, you can't hang out in the work area unless you're going to be working on the car. So I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do to help.
Right.
So I just go outside. So I
Delegate.
stood outside with Jay, and there's a whole bee conversation that occurred that I'll save for later on because that's a whole thing, and it's too much of a digression.
All right.
But I will say that there was across the street there was a 7-Eleven, and this is the highlight of my day, which is how sad my day was. There was a 7-Eleven across the street, and Jay gets very antsy if he's sitting around, so I have to give him things to do. So I saw the 7-Eleven and I said, "Hey, there's a 7-Eleven exclusive Mountain Dew called Infinite Swirl."
Infinite Swirl.
Infinite Swirl. It's a lovely shade of blue. It's a very, very light. It's kind of like this, like an aqua blue.
Really?
Yes, it's very pretty for a beverage. Yo, you're so pretty. So, so I said, "Can you go run over and see if they have any? Because I'm never near a 7-Eleven."
Nope.
So he goes, yeah, I'll do it. So he goes running across the street.
You're a little peach.
He comes back. My poor little peach. So he comes running back with a baggie. And they did have some, and he bought me like 4.
Damn.
And then they had like
Good old
flavored,
Jay.
and then they had like flavored milks. Like Kellogg's put out these like little things of flavored milks. So he bought like a frosted flake flavored milk, and then like
So
an
sugar
Eggo,
milk?
an Eggo waffle milk. I guess you could say it's like a
That's
sugar
all
milk.
it is.
I guess you could say that.
Okay.
So he
I
he bought himself a couple of those, and we was just still waiting and waiting. So the 2 hours was just about up,
Oh.
and I went and poked my head in the thing, and I'm like, well, I don't know, because I didn't even see him. So I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on.
You done yet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't want to be like that. So I kind of like was hanging around, and finally I saw, because this guy has like, here's my theory. If you're going to have a rule that says you need to wait outside, then you should at least have an area for people to sit so they can wait outside.
Right.
He didn't have anything to wait outside. So I was standing around for 2 hours.
No folding chairs?
No! I was so mad.
If you had more trunk space in that car, I'd say get one of those folding things.
No bench?
You know what I have in the back of my vehicle is I have this thing. It kind of looks like a discus, and it's a collapsible. Oh, that's fun. It's a collapsible stool.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's about yay thick, and it extends like so high.
Okay.
It's a short stool, so you're not far from the ground. But it has come in handy. And if I had thought about it, I would have grabbed it from my trunk before he put it up on a lift, and it became unreachable.
At that time, you probably didn't know.
I did not know this was going to be what it was going to be.
Nope.
So then
show.
I managed to find a little stool inside, because this guy is like, there's the room when you first walk in, and it looks like this guy does like sculpting with what would you call that? With a like blowtorch sculpting.
Okay.
So there's shit all over the place.
Damn.
And then there's like a little entryway, and there's the bays where I'm not allowed. So in the sculpting room, I found a little chair. So I sat down and managed to find some place for Jay to sit. And we sat and we waited. And the owner, whose name I think was Roy or Ray, he came walking through, and he goes, and he stops and he looks at me and he goes, Subaru? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that kid's having a bitch of a time. Yeah, I said, you're not filling me with a whole lot of confidence, Roy.
What kind of problems did he occur?
And he goes, well, I'm just telling you. And I said, okay. So instead of it being 1 hour, we were there for almost 3.5.
Oh.
Eventually,
Did they let you add time on?
They did. There really wasn't anything that could be done.
Oh, no.
So my nephew comes out and he goes, yeah, we have a problem. And I said, well, what's the problem? And he goes, well, because one coolant pipe he got in just fine.
Okay.
And the second coolant pipe has a lot of twists and turns. It has to go around a lot of things.
A lot of bendy bends.
A lot of bends, and he was having trouble getting it in place. And he said he called his friend for advice, and his friend simply said, well, it doesn't, it's kind of hard to get in there, so just jam it in there. And I went, that's probably not good advice.
I'd say no.
So he jammed it in there.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yes. It's more like,
What did you do, Ray?
because he comes out and he goes, well, he had told me to just jam it in there. So I'm like, okay. And in all these twists and turns, there's a little piece that sort of branches off. If you think of it like a tree branch, there's a little thing that sort of branches off. He goes, that piece, he broke that piece.
Probably a sensor, right?
It doesn't look like a sensor. It just looks like a piece that connects to something very thin, because it's a very thin piece.
Oh.
And he snapped it. And I said, okay. And I said, well, he goes, we're going to have it towed. And I was like, towed? And he goes, yeah. Yeah. And I said, well, because Jay doesn't have his truck anymore.
Right.
So I don't have a vehicle. And I said, this is my only vehicle. And I am supposed to go into the office this week.
Oh, no.
I said, yeah.
Great timing.
There's a lot of oh no's. So I was like, I have no way to do anything now.
Damn.
And he's like, yeah, sorry. And I'm like,
A little bit more sympathetic here.
well, I think he was becoming more and more, I don't know, anxious. I don't know. But he was just like, well, and then he says, well, you could probably borrow Grandma's car. And I'm like, ugh. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, it's hard.
And yeah. So I was like,
it's a Ford.
Found off-road dead.
and what a Ford. I'm telling you.
She's on the edge.
I've been a woman on the edge for a week.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't mean to disparage anybody. I don't particularly trust tow truck people.
Yeah.
So I was having like,
You got to get a flatbed because yours is all-wheel drive.
yeah. And I was like, I had a panic attack about my vehicle. And then I was sitting there like, what the fuck? And then I was, pardon my language, then I was upset because I'm like, I'm supposed to go to work. If I can't go into the office, I don't know what my boss is going to say. So I'm absolutely freaked out and I'm livid. And then I go outside to calm down and I see my vehicle off to the side waiting for the tow truck, and that just set me off. I'm like, God damn it. Now I'm more mad than I was because I'm looking at my vehicle. So the tow truck shows up and the guy's like, I don't know, he's talking to my nephew as he's getting it ready and they're puttering around, and I just turned and I looked at Jay and I was like, let me tell you something. I said, if there is a mark on this vehicle that was not on this, because I know every inch of it. I was like, if there's a mark on this vehicle that was not on this vehicle before, I will rain a winter that will last 1,000 years on this fuck. Not my nephew, the tow truck guy. Because I'm just like, they don't give a shit. It's like, it's not their property. They don't care.
Right.
So he loaded it up and we drove all the way back to my house. And we arrived at the house. The guy left, by the way. The tow truck guy left like 5 minutes before we did because my nephew had to clear a space for people to sit. Because he's one of those young people that everything's in their car. So the guy had left 5 minutes before we did. So I arrive at my house and my car is not here.
Oh.
And I went, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
So and I'm getting, well, he left before we did. Yeah, I know. So where is it? So he calls AAA. They don't know where my car is.
Oh, shit.
They're like, well, we're going to have to call you back.
The orange one?
Now I'm losing my mind.
I would be too.
My ass is sweating. And I'm like, where is my vehicle? So the AAA people call back and they're like, oh, yeah. He's like 10 minutes away. Don't worry about it.
Don't
Like,
worry
he
about
better
it.
be.
He should have been here before me.
He better be 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he does show up.
Right.
Plops my car in the driveway.
Plop.
So my nephew then drives me to my mother's house to pick up my car. Now, the thing is that was making me like not happy with the whole situation is that to fix it, it needs to be up on a lift, right? I had to rent a place because the kid that he's friends with that lets him use his lift after hours, it took like 3 months.
Damn.
And he still hadn't made any time. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to rent this place. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, when do you think you're going to be able to fix this? And, well, I don't know. I have to get a hold of my friend. I don't know. And then it was like, well, I have to find a part we have to find the part, and nobody has it, so I'm gonna have to order it. So now I'm just like, okay, because nobody has the part, it has to be ordered. He doesn't know when the friend is gonna be able to help him. So I have no. If it had been, well, it'll be by next weekend or 2 weeks. It's gonna take if I had some kind of like time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But I had nothing. It was like, well, I'll let you know, and it's like, oh Jesus, I'll let you know isn't good.
Right.
So
2
I
weeks.
went to my parents, and I borrowed my mother's car. Now
Hi, Mom.
I want to be honest.
Thanks, Mom.
Yes, thanks, Mom. I want to be honest, but the honesty is going to make me sound like an asshole.
Okay.
So I'm honest about I'm not going to look good in this. I'm going to come off very entitled, and I'm going to look like an asshole. But I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Okay. I do not like driving my mother's car. For one, it's not. Number one, it's not my vehicle. I love my car. I want to
Right.
drive my car. Now I'm driving this car.
Correct.
Two, it's not anything that if I were on a lot, I would have picked out. So
Okay.
there's that. Completely not my style. That's
Okay.
fine. It's not my car. Doesn't
Right.
have to be my style.
It's not your peach.
It's not my poor pumpkin.
Not your cup of tea.
It's not my pumpkin. Pumpkin spice!
Okay.
So the final thing is, I knew that she had recently had the brakes done, but I get in the car and I
Good
start
for
the
that.
car up, and there's an exhaust issue.
Oh.
So the car is very loud.
Oh. Like a muscle car?
Like you start it up and it's like wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, what the God?
Oh, when you left my house on Monday,
Did you hear me? Did you hear me when I left?
when you were leaving the driveway and starting to go down the street, you weren't that loud.
Oh, really?
But when you,
know
were
why?
down the other end and you turn onto the main street, I heard you. I was about to go into the house and I heard you.
You know why? Because I was like,
Shit.
you live on a very, very quiet street. So I
Yes.
was like, I don't want like any neighbors to come and complain to you. Like, who was that asshole who left your driveway?
Most of them were asleep already.
So I gave it a
They
little
woke
bit
up
of
then.
I gave it a little bit of gas and then coasted to the stop sign. And then once I hit the stop sign and turned, I had to give it more gas. That's why you heard me, because I had to actually give it. I had to give it proper gas. That's how it sounds when you give it proper gas. It's like wah 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 wah. I'm like, oh my God. So,
The old Ecto one.
and on top of that, there's no AC. I know I sound entitled, but it's been hot.
Yes, it is.
Well, on the window.
And then I was
I use my
like,
AC every day.
and there's no like, let me put on the fan and it won't blow AC, but it'll blow kind of coolish air. Nope. There was one time I turned on the defrost because I was testing everything. I'm like, maybe I can get something through the defrost, and the defrost did blow like a little bit of cool air, and then it kind of like was like, nah.
That's
You
all
like
you get.
that? Well, I'm taking it back.
I'm tired of working. You're done.
That's all you get.
So I drove it home,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God. And I'm looking like through the car because like
Excuse me.
I didn't want to give it back and then have somebody be like, oh, well, what happened here? So I'm like, oh, and here's another interesting little quirk, right? I didn't realize how much I missed my backup cam. Holy crap, I keep looking at the center thing, waiting for my backup cam to kick in, and I'm like, oh, it's not my car. There's no backup cam. Because the backup cam comes in very handy, especially like when you're backing out of somebody's driveway, and you're like, whoop. Nope, no backup cam. I can't see nothing
Old
behind
school
me.
side mirrors. And
Well, the backup cam you can see perfectly behind you, and with side mirrors, it's like, is something there? I don't know. So, yeah, the gears, like you put it in gear, and if you look on the dash, no matter what gear you're in, it says you're in neutral. So I'm like I had it in gear, and then I looked down and I'm like, wait, I'm in neutral? And I look down and I'm like, it says I'm in drive, but not here.
Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
So I'm like, well, I know I'm in drive. I'm going forward. So, and I still get confused. Like, I'll put it in reverse and then I'll look and be like, nope, there's no R. Guess I'm just going.
Wow.
So when I got home, I'm almost done with this story, by the way. When I get home, I'd gotten out of the vehicle and there was smoke coming out of the wheel well.
Oh,
Now, because I know,
you're putting him to sleep.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Wake up.
So because I didn't want to be, accused of breaking anything, I texted my mom and I said, listen, there was some smoke coming out of the wheel well.
What'd you do?
Well,
That's normal.
there's quiet. There's no response at all. And I'm like, oh, I guess she doesn't give a shit. That's fine.
I'd be like, oh.
At least I told her, right?
Yeah.
All caps. What?
2 seconds after I come to that conclusion in my own mind, she writes me back and goes, your father's on his way. And I was like, why? Why is he on his way? Well, he wants to take a look. What does he look at? Well, he's just, and I was going to go get, I hadn't eaten all day. So I was just going to go get something to eat. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm waiting a half an hour for my dad to show up. And then I had to hope he remembered where I lived. So I'm like, great.
You've never been to your house?
He's been here a few times, but he's 80. So,
The one on the right?
yeah. So he shows up.
Across from the woods. There ain't no more woods now.
And yeah, I know.
Wow.
And my dad's very he's non-expressive. Like he gets out of the car and he just we make eye contact and he just shakes his head at me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, show me what was happening. So I show him. I'm like, it was coming out of the
Explain
wheel well.
situation.
It's coming out of the wheel well. And then since she had told me that he was on his way, I started the car because I wanted the engine to be hot in case it was hot engine related. So the car was on, the engine was hot. So he's looking at the wheel well, and then he's like, I don't see any smoke. And I said, well, it was smoking when I got out of the car. I'm sorry. I said, I just told her in case there was something so I wouldn't be blamed for it. And then he goes, what, did you go through a puddle? I went, it's 90 degrees out here. If you can find a puddle, I might go play in it. Yeah. So he goes, all right, so no
Play
puddle?
in the puddle.
Yeah, all right, so no puddle. And I said, no puddle. So he lifts the hood, and he goes to put his hand in there, and I slap his hand, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm going to look at something. And I said, the car is on. And he's deaf, right? And I said, the
At
car.
least when he wants to be.
And I said, the car is on. And he looks at me and he goes, is it? And I said, yes, it's on. And he goes, oh. And I said, if you're going to start fiddling with things,
You're going to get burnt.
I'm going to shut it off. And he goes, well, I'd like you to do that. So
Shut it down, Terry.
So I shut it off. And then he checks the oil. And I kind of peer over at him at the dipstick. And I said, well, it's not the oil's not the culprit. And he goes, no, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I said, it does. It does. So he puts it back and he goes, well, I don't know. And I
Great
said,
diagnosis, Bob.
and I said, well, why did you come all the way here? You didn't have to. And he goes, I don't know. He goes, your mother told me it was smoking. And I was like, okay. So he goes,
I thought maybe he just wanted to get out.
there's a scuff on the passenger front panel.
Uh-oh.
So I said, what happened here? And I was pointing it out so that he wouldn't know that was something I did. So I was like, what happened here? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes,
Shopping cart.
people just do things. And I was like, okay, I feel like this is you related.
People.
I feel like this is related to you, and I'm going to drop the whole thing right now.
Wow.
So he left. I was like, see you tomorrow. And he's like, yeah. And he left.
Bye.
I haven't driven it that much. I've only driven it when absolutely necessary.
Wow.
Because I don't want to, have a thing. I ended up talking to my boss on Monday, and I explained the entire situation.
I don't have a car.
And she was like, and I said, well, I mean, I didn't tell her that I had that vehicle because I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable driving that because my work is an hour away. So I'm like, I really don't feel comfortable driving it all the way.
All right.
So I said, so I explained the situation. Then I said, listen, if you really want to see me, I will rent a car. And she goes, no, it's not worth that. And I said, no, it isn't, is it? So she goes, you know what? Just come in, come in when you can. And I'm like, well, that's next month then.
All right.
Hopefully.
September.
She's on vacation now anyway, so she doesn't care if I'm in there or not. So she's like, okay, see ya. See you when I see ya.
Peace out.
Yeah. So that's the saga with my car. I texted my nephew Thursday.
Yep.
Because I heard nothing. It was radio silence. So I texted him and I said, any updates? And he wrote me back and he said, my friend just came back today and I'm waiting for him to get back to me. So I'm like, okay.
Not like last week.
So I said, okay. And about an hour later, he texted me back and he goes, my friend can help me. We're going to tow it to his work Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning, I'm going to fix it. And I was like, okay,
Tomorrow?
thank you. Yeah, they're coming to get it tomorrow, and then Sunday he's going to fix it. So I was like, okay, thank you. And then because I was 12 shades of angry on Saturday, I did apologize for my anger, and I was like, I'm sorry about that, but it's my car, and I love it, and I don't have a vehicle.
Right.
There was no response to that, but but I issued the apology. It's fine.
Okay.
I was the adult, damn it. Yeah. So hopefully it will be fixed. I don't know. Yeah.
Find out next week.
Yeah.
Tune in.
What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Jay has his ham radio symposium.
Damn.
Tomorrow. Symposium tomorrow, where he's receiving 2 awards
Oh, nice.
for his
Hamness?
radioness.
2 awards for his hamness.
Yeah, and luckily his friend's gonna give him a. You don't need to apply. That's nerdy shit. You don't need to apply. No. I don't.
That's all he gets.
Yeah. It's a millisecond. His friend's gonna pick him up and drive him because he was going anyway. So I was like, can't he give you a ride? And he's
Carpooling
like,
with your friends.
Yeah. But I was bummed because I had a whole bunch of stuff I was gonna do, and I was like, I'm probably not gonna do it with that vehicle. So.
Sorry, Mom.
No, I mean it's not a matter of being ungrateful. It's just a matter of like, I was just like, oh, my car.
My baby.
Yeah, I was like, I went from like really liking my car
Loving.
to loving my car,
Yeah.
and it's like now I have to look at the poor thing every time I look out the thing, and it's just sitting there like, why can't you drive me?
Help.
Like I can't. I'm sorry.
Besides your Bob.
Yeah. So.
Well, then. So what's the piece that he broke? Do you know?
It's a coolant pipe. There are 2 coolant pipes. One is an upper.
No, but like when he was jamming it in, he broke something else. Another coolant
No,
pipe?
he broke the piece, the branch of the coolant pipe. He broke it off.
Of the new one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, unfortunately.
I guess don't jam it in there.
In retrospect, yes.
My friend said jam it in.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if that was good advice. I don't know.
Obviously not.
Get a hammer.
So,
Mallet.
Bad advice.
I suppose. I can tell you the owner wasn't pleased.
Not at all.
And you?
I can't top that, but damn.
Oh. I don't have sagas very often. It's been a while
Lots of
since
saga.
I've had a whole saga, so.
Let's see, what do I got here? Mike Tyson
Oh boy.
has rescheduled his fight with Jake Paul for November 15th.
Really?
He did. So, hopefully it doesn't get postponed again. But we'll see.
Well, they'll keep us all on the edge of our seats.
There's no way he can lose.
Tape up your ears. You might get hungry.
I know.
You'll get
Paul's going to get
ludicrous.
his ass handed to him in my opinion. But
Well, I don't like those.
you never know.
I don't like those Paul brothers, so I'm good if they.
That one's in WWE. Logan's in WWE, and he's like the Universal Champ or something, U.S. Champ.
Yeah.
Or was. I don't know. So yeah, that's that. So, like, he talks a lot of smack. Like, Jake Paul talks a lot of shit about like Tyson. Tyson's like, whatever. I don't even give a shit. Day comes, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Didn't what's his face a long time ago, like in the '90s, like McBride or somebody that fought him? McNeely. Yeah. Didn't he talk a lot of smack? He got knocked out really quick.
Yeah, and he went down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, it was like the fastest
Peter
fight
McNeely,
ever.
yeah.
It's like 20 seconds. Kapow.
Didn't work up a sweat.
Not at all.
Threw in the towel. It's 10 minutes of fame. Or 15
Yeah.
minutes. It's 50 minutes of fame.
I was going to say nobody talks about him, but here we are talking about him. So,
Right.
Did you have something? I see your notes in front of you.
A couple of notes. And
Okay.
What do you got?
I think I'm ready.
Mm.
For those of you that are fans of Lilo and Stitch,
It's Lilo.
whatever.
Is it?
Lilo,
Okay.
tomato.
Howdy ho.
I never watched it, so I don't know.
I know it's like a blue creature, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a live-action CGI Stitch movie.
Mm-hmm.
Brace yourselves for the little furry blue ball of chaos that is Stitch
Yeah.
in Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch remake. While the big Walt Disney Pictures panel at the D23 fan event recently was devoted much Lilo and Stitch news, it did showcase the first look of animation of the CGI, which you can Google and look up.
All right.
Directed by Gene Fleischer, camp of the Marcel the Shell with Shoes on fame.
All right.
Never heard of it. Festivities included new looks of the live-action Snow White, Tron, and Freaky Friday sequel, Freakier Friday.
Freaky.
Which that Freaky Friday movie was like years ago.
It was, yeah.
It was interrupted by CGI Lilo jumping onto the screen at the convention center in Nottingham, California. It's the first glimpse of how the live-action remake of the 2002 animated Disney classic will render the alien furball, which is then released to the general public on social media. Film will be released in theaters next summer with a cast that includes Chris Sanders, who voiced Stitch in the original movie, again voicing the character in CGI form. Written and directed by Sanders and Dean DuBois.
Dubois.
Okay.
Probably. Very French.
That did the animated one. Followed an orphaned Hawaiian girl named Lilo, who is raised by her oldest sister, Nani, after her parents' death. When Lilo encounters a mysterious alien, she takes him in as her new quote-unquote dog and renames him Stitch.
All right. Who's playing Lilo?
I don't know.
No. Damn.
Let's see. Maya Kealoha. Kealoha.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She'll be playing her in a live action form in the new movie. Sydney Elizabeth. Can people have names I can pronounce? Ageudong. Plays Nani.
Okay.
And let's see. Other alums from the original, including Tia Carey, the original Nanny, Amy Hill, and now incorporated into different roles for the remake. And let's see.
So he's an alien.
Yep.
Is it a male or female?
I think Stitch is a boy. I haven't checked.
Okay.
It's the latest.
From another world.
It's the latest in a long line of Disney animated titles given live action treatment. D23 came with a new look of Snow White and stars The West Side Story and The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds, and Snake's breakout. Rachel Zegler as the Disney princess and Wonder Woman. Star Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah.
Thank you.
She was one.
That's the Evil Queen.
Oh.
Release date hasn't been revealed for Lilo and Stitch, but 2 untitled Disney projects are currently on the calendar for the release next year on May 23rd, 2025, August 8th, 2025.
Nice.
I think they need to stop doing these live action things. I don't
Stitch.
think they're as good.
Stitch.
Can't see it.
Aliens. Speaking of Disney,
Yeah.
they released the Star Wars Skeleton Crew trailer with Jude Law. What'd you think of it?
You know, there's just a lot of that content.
Yeah. There is a lot.
There
Star
is.
Wars will never go away.
Well, I mean, that's good, but
Yeah.
you can also have too much of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Saturated.
My opinion. Yeah.
For me, as long as they have good actors doing the parts and they have a good story, I'm down for it.
What'd you think of the trailer? Or did you not watch it?
I didn't get to watch it.
Ah,
Sorry.
damn it. It was all right. Typical Star Wars,
Yeah.
you know. Guess what starts filming next month?
What?
Happy Gilmore 2
Oh, no.
with Nick Swartzen.
Oh, boy.
I think Shooter wants revenge.
I didn't see the first one.
Shooter. You didn't? Oh, it was pretty good.
No, I don't.
Bob Barker's in it.
I'm not really,
Sailor.
nah.
You know, like Sin.
I was like his stuff around that time, around the 90s.
Yeah.
That was his best stuff.
He's kind of the same thing in everything.
Dim-witted.
Yeah.
It always gets the girl at the end.
Usually brings almost the same cast in every movie, like Grown Ups. And
Yeah, they do with a cross-eye.
Yeah.
You just make a joke? That's funny. All right, thanks.
Like, God, I really hope that's the thumbnail. You're like,
Okay. What else I got here?
I don't know.
John Madden. Remember him?
Yes. Are you going to talk smack about John Madden?
I am not going to talk smack about
All
John
right.
Madden.
she should know. She gets his
They're making a
football game.
biopic.
Oh, why?
Well, why not? You know, he's a legend.
Why not?
And guess who they cast as John Madden in the biopic?
Oh, no.
Just guess.
For John Madden?
Yeah.
If he was alive, I'd say Chris Farley.
I don't know.
Incorrect. Nicolas Cage.
Would not have guessed Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage?
Is going to be John Madden in the biopic.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't accept.
No, sorry, I don't like it.
No.
Well.
Protest. Formal protest?
Go ahead.
No, thank you.
Holy shit!
I was like, what? Why? He doesn't even like, even like with makeup and stuff, he don't look like,
No,
I don't know.
he won't.
That's who they cast as John Madden.
Oh, by the way.
No, he passed away a couple years ago, right? Recently?
Well,
Or a long time ago.
4 maybe? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Feels like 2.
It wasn't.
No, he wasn't a football player, but he was a coach. Or was he both?
I honestly don't remember if he actually played,
Okay.
but I do know he was a coach.
Okay. What team?
Raiders.
If you're interested, Google it.
Raiders. Raiders are awesome.
Raiders. You don't have to Google it. It's the Raiders. I'll tell you right now.
No, his early days.
Oh,
If he played.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
And of course, the games. You know,
Yes, he would,
Madden 25.
with Pat Summerall, he would call games. They were very interesting. He was a very colorful commentator.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he got hit so hard, I think his guts bounced off the grill in the parking lot. And it's like, John!
Who would you have cast instead of Nicolas Cage?
I don't know. I'm gonna say like Frank Caliendo or something.
I was going to say the same thing.
At least he can
'Cause
do
he
John
can-
Madden.
Yeah, he does an impression of John Madden.
And he's kind of, I haven't seen him lately, but he's kind of a round guy last time I saw him. So.
Around guy. He's
Well, I
around.
mean, yeah.
He's around somewhere.
It works.
Yeah.
Speaking of like biopics,
Right.
they canceled that Hulk Hogan biopic.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah,
I think that was supposed to be Chris Hemsworth.
it was supposed to be Chris Hemsworth.
Why did they cancel that?
Probably want him for something else.
Huh?
Probably want him for something else.
No, it's he's really kind of gone off the rails.
Has he?
Yeah. He's
Yeah, brother.
saying some unpleasant things. I think he has. If I don't know his personal life, obviously, because we don't speak.
Nah.
If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that I think he has some sort of alcohol problem or something. Like he's saying things that are just, you go, what? That's not what a normal person would say.
Is it like a normal going off the walls, or was it like what's his face from the Transformers films?
I don't.
LaBeouf.
No, Shia LaBeouf.
No, it's not like Shia LaBeouf. He's just,
You get hit in the head a lot.
yeah, he's just saying a bunch of stuff. I'm like, well, maybe he's got some kind of concussion thing happening.
The elbow, the
I
leg.
don't know.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
That was when he used to do that in the ring. Yeah, people would go ape shit. Be like, oh, I can't hear you.
Because he really couldn't.
Because he was 80 back then.
What would it sounds for Hogan's hearing?
Huh?
Alrighty.
Okay, did we have a winner last week?
We did have a winner.
No way!
Congratulations, Yvonne.
Oh, dear.
She guessed Smokey and the Bandit.
Awesome movie.
She won 2 gift cards. And it was her birthday this week, so say.
Oh, hey.
Happy
I
birthday.
got,
Nice gift for her.
there you
Nice
go.
gift for her.
Give me some charm, I guess.
So this week's quote's worth 1 gift card. Dunkin' Donuts. You comment the name of the movie on the YouTube video. First to correct, you win. Sean, do you got one?
I do.
All right, you can go first. Because you didn't do one last week, so.
Now, if you know it, answer it specifically.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
It's from a certain one.
And yours worth a gift card?
Yep. $5 one.
All right, so you can potentially win 2 gift cards.
Did you know after the heart stops beating, the brain cannot function for 7 minutes? We still have 6 more minutes to play.
Oh.
Get it?
That's creepy. All right, so comment below if you know what movie that's from, and you can win yourself a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. All right, here's mine.
Oh,
Do you know what happens to a toad that gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else. Comment below.
I was like, is that it?
That's it.
Wow, that was all right. Fast.
So,
Guess what? Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Before I send it down the table, here's your fun fact of the week. Because we're getting into fall.
all right.
Zucchinis and pumpkins are actually members of the same species. The word zucchini, in fact, comes from the Italian word for pumpkin.
Oh, hey.
Specifically, pumpkin is zucca and zucchini is zucchina, which can be taken to mean small pumpkin.
All right.
There you go.
That's interesting.
They had different colors.
Have a great weekend.
Look at everything.
Come on over for my zucchini carving party.